So Mallory and Blake, Blueform Media. Mallory has killed it for, I mean, we're at 2 years right now, and it's kind of forced you to make some changes. So talk to me about that a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, we kind of stumbled on to podcasting, I guess. I used to stream video games on twitch.com just as a hobby. And you just learn a lot about computers and what's available out there. And when Jefferson, my boss, was talking about starting a podcast and Mallory had just quit her job and was available, it all worked out. I was making a lot of money in sales, and so she could quit. And then he expressed the need for a podcast. And Mallory also has a background, I think a technical degree in audio engineering.
Right.
So sitting with mixing and being in studios and stuff is kind of what she did internships for and everything. That's what she was going to pursue. In fact, she almost left me because she felt a conflict of like wanting to live her dream and like settling down in a relationship just wasn't lining up. And so she was like conflicted, and she's like, I think I got to leave you. And I chased her down in her car, the pouring rain. It was like The Notebook, basically.
It's like a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a romance. But I chased her down, and she was like in her car about to leave. And I'm just kind of like, okay, trying to be respectful. And it just kind of hit me out of the blue. And I didn't know she was that conflicted. So we started talking about it. And I was like, I didn't know like you were that serious about it. I thought that was just kind of your hobby. And I convinced her to stay because I was like, I guarantee you, this is where this all started, by the way.
So yeah, I have not heard this story.
Yeah, this is where it all started. And this was up in Utah, Lehi, Utah, when we lived up there before we moved down, and we just started dating. And I said, I promise you, if you stick with me, like I said, this is in a nutshell. I'm like, if you stick with me, I'm like, we can use, your dream will come true just in a different way. You don't have to go to Hollywood or LA or like Vegas to go, slave and sweat and bleed in like a studio and sleep on a couch to like be a part of production and to be a part of stuff like that. Like we can kind of do it on our own terms. Plus the industry is kind of shady, especially if you're a cute girl like Mal. You never know how Hollywood, and everyone's probably heard the stories of, if you want to progress in a career, you got to
get all Harvey Weinstein on people.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein, like just weird creeps like that. Plus the environment for drugs. And me being a good salesman, I talked her out of it.
That proved it right there.
So fast forward, I think like a year and a half, we had moved down here, and she quit her job, and then she started Jefferson Rogers podcast, and then we migrated over to you, and she invested in this studio. And we run most of our podcasts out of this studio. Like all this stuff behind us is modular. If you haven't noticed that, or if you didn't know that, the TV, we just been making additions, but it was Mal's initial investment. She put her life savings into this company.
About 90% of her savings into it, right?
And I was like her tech department. So I just took the video game knowledge I had from streaming on Twitch of all places, and then you can actually use that same stuff, the same technique to do podcasts, and it actually saves us probably 6 to 8 hours on the back end for editing. And so we've met with some other companies, we've met with people that are doing, our peers, right, that we're trying to mastermind with or trying to get, mentorship from. And there was a point in the conversation we're talking with these people, and they're like, wait, how do you guys do this much? And I was like, we just do this. We didn't get into the details, but I was like, yeah, these are the things we do. And they're like, well, how do you do that? Like, you guys are like, you're editing so much. And then it clicked on me. It dawned on me. I was like, oh, they don't know the techniques we know.
Right.
Like, we're using free available softwares to everybody. We're using all these techniques that you have to research to know. And that's what I did. I researched, like, it took me probably 8 to 10 months to even set up, because I was in a shitty job. I was working at Jimmy John's, just getting back from another divorce in my life. I mean, that's a whole nother story, but I was just in a really bad way, and I wanted to start video game streaming. So it took me like 8 months to save my money for a high-end video game computer that could handle the graphics load for all this stuff and do a live stream. So instead of live streaming a podcast, we just live produce a podcast. And like Mal's over there switching camera angles. Like as soon as I point it, she'll switch. Ready? Boom.
Right.
Now
and so now it's on me.
Oh, I was early. No. Oh.
Timing was off. So that's what we do with all of our clients. So we do a lot of the post-production live. So it's happening now. And that enables us to lower our prices like so low. And so when we stepped onto the scene and a lot of the people we talked to, they're like, you guys are getting robbed. You should be charging $4,000 to $5,000 per episode. We're like, what? That's, I can't say the R word, but that's redundant.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's retardant, flame resistant. Right. So anyway, it's kind of unique. It just kind of worked together. And these aren't like proprietary secrets that we're hiding. They're available. These techniques are out there, but nobody in the podcast game is really doing it unless they're at really high level and they have like, TV studio level production equipment. And we're able to do it on a budget and it's the quality's there. Everything's there. It's quite phenomenal. Actually. We're really proud of it. And to make this service affordable. So, a normal guy from Dogtown can get 102 episodes under his belt.
I'm glad my wife's rich.
Yeah.
So I can do it.
Whatever. No, you're a hustler, dude. You're a hustler too. So that's where we got started. But now we've just kept growing because there's a need. I think there's like a content funnel that people are realizing that you need. If you want to grow a following, if you want to grow a brand and eventually monetize it, around a product or something, like you need consistent content. And if you look at it like a pyramid, right? Everyone's trying to build the pyramid from the top down. Like, how can I put content on social media? That's so time consuming and it's like a one-time thing. If you were just like, hey, come to, Southern Utah Safe and Vault, like you would have to do that twice a day, every day, all the time. And like, then be trendy and be all these things. And so people are trying to build this pyramid from the top down. But if you run a podcast, podcasts are king of content. You have 45 minutes or an hour of long form content that can then be diced up into small reels, probably like the reel you're watching right now, because this is going to be a reel. That's how you get it out. And so you build that foundation. That's the foundation of the pyramid. Then you have like more digestible content, like maybe a 10-minute YouTube video and a blog or something else. And then you have the tip of the pyramid, which is the short form, like your YouTube clips and all the stuff that some of your clips have hit the millions.
Yeah.
And that equals not the same as it once did because they change how they pay out, but some of those social media, that equals monetization. And so we've been able to get, a good stream of regular offsets for your costs just from social media, which is really cool. But anyway, that's how we started. And that's kind of where the traction has just started to catch. And so, I was able to leave JKR Windows in town and doing all like my normal sales job because of guys like you, that are supporting us, that want a podcast, that want to put a message out there or whatever. And it's really humbling, man. It's been awesome. It's like we're doing this, we burn the ships,
right?
We're all in now. So
something I think's cool. Like I talk about the network that I've built around the podcast, right? I mean, we've had 102, we've had some repeats. I don't know, call it 85, like 85 different people on.
I'd say like
right?
90.
Yeah, probably 90. We haven't had that many repeats, but like the network I've built around it. And then what Mallory was just saying that, so I'm in Vodacy, Sean Moore runs all that.
Short-term rentals, right?
Yeah, short-term rental. It's like a coaching. It is coaching and it has every aspect of it. I mean, even now they have it to where they like pre-vet properties. So they're even like pre-vetting properties to where they'll like
for you to purchase,
for us to purchase.
Wow.
Yeah. So it didn't have that in the beginning. And I was like, man, that would be the gold. But to keep up on that, I mean, that'd be like 3 people's full-time job.
Right.
Like I was talking to Jacob that actually does that in Vegas over the weekend. They had a big meetup down there. And I was like, dude, I don't know how you do it all. Cause like me just trying to find one property is hard. And you've got like a spreadsheet of them.
Right.
And then he has to keep up if they're still there or sold or,
Yeah.
if they're even
Conditions,
active. Yeah.
Tracking inspections and like all sorts of.
Yeah. And some of it's like you need to do your due diligence as well. Right. But this is by the numbers, this all checks out.
Yeah.
basically.
They're probably doing what, like 80% of the work for you, 85?
A lot. Yeah.
Before you purchase it.
Right.
And then you kind of do a lot.
Well, and dude, like if you think about it, where do you even buy one? Like I thought it'd be easy to be like, well, shit, we want to go to Florida.
You just like spin the globe. Like,
Right. And we're not even
Bangladesh.
talking the US. Like you can do this in Europe,
totally.
you can do it in South America. Like, so anyway, rabbit hole. So Sean Moore came and was on my podcast. He's the founder of Vodacy.
Yeah.
And then after that, they got with you guys on just doing some of the editing stuff. So not even like the full-fledged podcast that we do, but they run all the editing. So back to my point. I think it's cool how like you, Mallory, even some of the people that help you guys out, like they're getting this like huge knowledge base just by sitting in. Like,
us?
Yeah.
Oh, it just
like the
rubs
huge
off.
benefit from you guys.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
like, it's a lot of work. Sure. I mean,
It's like free coaching.
yeah, like I paid thousands and thousands of dollars to be in Vodacy.
Yeah.
And now you guys are just
We're getting
looking
paid.
at all. Yeah, you're
We're
getting paid to
review
consume it.
their content. Yeah. It's kind of a life hack. If you're interested in like running podcasts for other people, like I'd say anybody listening could reach out to us and we'd have opportunities for you. But yeah, we basically get paid to hear from you, to learn from you and your businesses and everything you've done. And then like Jeff and Brandon or Jefferson Rogers or all your guests as
Right.
well.
That's what I was
Eric
gonna say,
Gubler's been on, all these guys we've been talking about. And then Sean Moore with Vodacy as well. Yeah, we're just getting free coaching in exchange for us doing their services. I guess they're paying us, so it's not free, but like
Sure.
we're not paying.
But it's cool. I'm just saying, like, it's an added thing for you guys.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
a
was
bonus.
something that I wasn't
little
counting on. Like, I was just, honestly, I was trying to do this, hopefully that we help one person through the 102 episodes. That was the whole reason we
I
started
think
doing
you've
it.
helped a lot more than one.
Like, dude, I hope so. And I know there's been a couple because I've had people reach out to me. And so, like, I know that we've already satisfied that.
Yeah.
But to think of everything else that's come to my life because of the podcast is, I mean, it's crazy.